The sun hung low over the endless prairie, painting the land gold as a lone cowboy rode slowly toward the Apache settlement. His horse tired but steady, just like him, for Jack Callahan had lived his whole life on the edge of danger. Yet nothing in his past prepared him for what he was about to face. Jack was known across the frontier as a man of quiet courage, a man who avoided trouble but never ran from it, and on that day, fate pulled him straight into the heart of a storm. As he approached the small cluster of wooden huts and tents near the river, he noticed something was wrong. Too quiet, too tense, the air heavy with fear. Horses stood restless and distant smoke curled into the sky. That was when he saw her. An elderly Apache grandmother sitting on a fallen log, her silver hair flowing in the wind, eyes sharp with wisdom and pain, pointing directly at him as if she had been waiting for his arrival. Her name was Naya, a woman respected as the soul of her people, a healer and storyteller who had seen generations rise and fall. Without speaking a word, she stood with effort and approached Jack, her gaze piercing straight through him, and in that moment, Jack felt something deeper than fear, responsibility. Through broken English and silent gestures, he understood the danger. A ruthless band of land hunters and mercenaries was coming, men who wanted to drive the Apache away and claim the fertile land by the river. These men had no mercy, no honor, and they would kill anyone who stood in their way, especially an old woman who refused to leave her ancestral ground. Jack knew what helping her meant, becoming an enemy to powerful men, risking his ranch, his life, and the fragile peace he had managed to build. Every instinct told him to turn back, but something stronger held him there. He remembered his own grandmother, the woman who raised him after his parents died, who taught him that bravery wasn't about guns or fists, but about standing when it's easier to walk away. As night fell, Jack stayed with the Apache, helping them prepare, moving elders and children to safer ground, setting lookout points and promising Naya that he would not abandon her. Word spread fast, and by dawn, the mercenaries arrived, armed, ruthless, and confident that fear would make everyone bow. Jack rode out to meet them alone, standing between the men and the grandmother they wanted gone. Shots rang out, dust exploded under hooves, and chaos followed. Jack fought not just with bullets but with courage, leading the attackers away from the village, using the land he knew better than anyone. He was wounded, knocked from his horse, and left bleeding under the burning sun, yet he refused to give up. Crawling back toward the settlement, he expected silence or death, but instead he heard Apache war cries. The tribe had risen, inspired by the cowboy who risked everything for someone he barely knew. Together, they forced the mercenaries to retreat, broken and defeated. As Jack collapsed near the river, Naya knelt beside him, pressing her weathered hand to his chest, whispering a blessing older than the land itself. And if this story already has your heart racing, remember, stories like this live on because of people like you. So take a moment to subscribe and become part of this journey, because the greatest chapter is yet to come. Jack awoke days later beneath a sky filled with stars, his body aching but his spirit strangely at peace, surrounded by the Apache people who now treated him not as an outsider, but as family. Naya sat beside him every night, telling him stories of warriors who sacrificed themselves so future generations could live free. And in those quiet moments, Jack realized his risk had already changed him forever. But danger was not finished. The defeated mercenaries returned with reinforcements, spreading lies to nearby towns, calling Jack a traitor, claiming the Apache were savages who needed to be wiped out. Jack's ranch was burned to the ground, his name dragged through the mud, and bounties were placed on his head. He had lost everything except his purpose. Instead of fleeing, Jack stood taller than ever, helping the Apache negotiate with honest settlers, exposing the crimes of the land hunters, and gathering proof of their violence. Naya revealed her final gift, documents and tribal records proving the land legally belonged to her people, hidden for decades to protect it from thieves. With Jack's help, these records reached the authorities, igniting a battle not of guns but of truth. The mercenaries turned on each other, their lies collapsing, while Jack faced them one last time, not with bullets, but with evidence that stripped them of power. When the dust finally settled, the Apache land was protected, the criminals arrested or driven away, and Jack was offered reward money, land, and titles. He refused most of it. Instead, he accepted a small piece of land near the river, where he could live among the people he protected. Naya, her mission complete, passed peacefully soon after, her final smile carrying gratitude deeper than words. At her burial, Jack stood alone for a moment, realizing the true reward was never gold or fame. It was knowing that one act of courage can protect generations, that risking everything for what's right leaves you richer than any man alive. Years later, travelers spoke of a cowboy who became legend, not for how many men he killed, but for one grandmother he saved, and children listened wide-eyed as the story was passed down by firelight. And just like this story, legends only survive when they are shared. So if you believe courage still matters, if you believe one person can change the world, make sure you subscribe, because many more powerful stories like this are waiting for you, and the next one might change how you see bravery forever.